Thank you. Drucilla Kingi-Patterson.
I've got some stuff to go out. Kia ora.
Kia ora.
First, I'd like to say this thing about the ageing. What you've seen me come along, you always see me by myself. What you don't realise is my husband's 85. And just this year, I was doing 2 years of construction down Colombo Street, 2 years of traffic management, and then he had a fall. And I couldn't even give a week's notice. And my last night was actually putting in traffic lights in Anzac Drive, which should have been a 9-hour job, ended up being a 16-hour job. I'm level 2 non-practising. And so a lot of the stuff that I'm doing is, my interest is film. I was first female cabinet maker in New Zealand. I've got children. I've got an ageing husband. After the earthquake, we had 3 in our whānau, all over 75, not coping. And I know you always see me here, but actually I'm getting a bit tired of doing annual plans. I'm doing Christchurch City Council, Waimakariri Council, Selwyn. It's because I'm doing film and it goes over 5 or 6 councils. Okay? First of all, if you see this is kind of like, I'm just working, I work on data and then it just takes me wherever I've got to go. Now, this is to the year 218 to 228. I was in, what you don't know is I also did 14 years at Christchurch Public Hospital before I had my children. I worked in A&E, ICU, and I was also in the square the day of the shooting. And, you know, and what concerned me is I look at things more like emergency management. And if you look at the drawing there, what I've come up with, this is for 228 if we got the Commonwealth Games. If Auckland got it, they're spending $4 million on their infrastructure. Biggest problem for us is going to be biosecurity. I'm very interested in the planning of forestry. My biggest concern is insect farms and also legislation on cannabis. And that as a parent I have concerns, and I feel that I'm also concerned how our youth are being trained for construction and if we have natural disasters. And what I'd like to see, the archive is virtually like Quake City, but it's at the airport. And even though I've said 4 million, you could actually set it up right now for probably 500,000, go and buy a house and you could set it up and that would be step 1. But it's got to be located at the airport. The concern for me is emergency management and also losing our maternity care beds over in Burnside. We've got no care for beds for the elderly in Waimakariri. We've got no after-hour service there. Or I've looked at Selwyn as well. And my concern is, not now, but 5, 6 years down the track, if we have a natural disaster, it may not be terrorism, it could actually be a fire. You only have to have a whole lot of fire down Rolleston, shuts the whole lot off. And my concern was the earthquake. If you shut down the whole city, where do you go? And the thing is, we were lucky with the 210 and 211 earthquake because most of your construction guys were all around. A lot of them are all gone now. And the young ones aren't being trained to come up. So the idea of this centre is it will focus on, it's just virtually a library, but it'll focus on, people can come in and use it for traffic management, they can use it for planning film, it's just going to be a big centre. I've been collecting stuff since the 210 earthquakes. I went to all the seminars, share idea. It's just the next step. I presently have 2 projects. One of them is a film project, and I've got to come up with an idea how to build a 3D model of Christchurch for film work. And I've come up with either 3D models or we do it in Lego. So now I'm putting letters out to the schools and I will see what comes back. I'm kind of getting pulled 2 ways. I'm working on my project, but then right now, I've got a son with a broken leg in Barbados Street through skateboarding. He was working at the Break Free Hotel. And I've got my husband who had flipped out of his chair, ended up with concussion, went out the back door and broke his leg. So I've got a lot.
Look, Drucilla,
And-
the time's come to a close. It's just a 5-minute presentation.
Yep,
in
okay,
this.
that's
And
what-
you've given us all of the detail for us to consider, and that's much appreciated. And I know that it's hard to come to all of these different councils and make your submission, but let me just say it's truly appreciated. So thank you very much.
That's fine.
Thank you.
It's actually, I have to tell you, it's 20 years' work.
Yeah.
All right?